Okay, welcome to English Anglo-Saxon layer. We're still in Anglo-Saxon layer, but now we're going to be studying suffixes, all right? And this is really going to be a fun and a profitable way to do it. Again, this is Don Potter, donpotter.net's my website, and we are looking at lesson number 5 in Beyond Basic Phonics English Morphology 101. And here we go. Anglo-Saxon suffixes. First of all, we have the ER, and this is an agent. In other words, it's someone or something that's doing something. So let's take a look at these. First, we have painter. So we know what it is to paint. So painter is going to be an agent, that is someone who paints. And notice, writer. What's a writer? It is a person, someone who paints. Then we have teacher. A teacher, someone who teaches. Farmer, someone who farms. Worker, someone who works. Singer, someone who sings. Plumber, someone who plumbs, that is to say, works on the plumbing in your house. And then jumper can be anybody that jumps. And then later it can be used of like trampoline that you jump on, or a baby maybe has a little jumper. All right, number 2, we have hood. That's a little tricky here. It's more abstract. Hood at the end of a word indicates a condition, a state, or a quality. So let's take a look at these. First of all, we have statehood. So that would be the condition of being a state or quality. Brotherhood, people who are brothers together consider themselves brothers. Sisterhood, you can have a group of sisters. Motherhood, again, that is a condition, motherhood, or a quality, a state. Fatherhood, and childhood. And again, the main thing, we want to know the meaning of the morphemes, but also, or these suffixes, but we also are building our decoding skills. That is to say that when you see these words in a story, the word parts are going to leap out at you. And you will see words besides the ones I'm teaching here, and you're going to be able to read them because you understand what the H-O-O-D means. And again, we're just selecting a few of these words to show you to help build this skill. This lesson right here could be 2 hours if we were to give you all the words in Webster's dictionary that had hood on the end. ING, this is a present participle. And notice we have walk, walking. The boy is walking to school. Fly, we had ing, we have flying. Talk, talking. Write, writing. Sing, singing. And again, these are just examples. There are many other words that thousands, almost any verb you can think of, can be a present participle. Then we have full, and this is pretty obvious. It means full, but when we put it at the end of the word, remember we drop the L. So in a 2-syllable word, when you put full at the end, you don't want 2 L's, you just want 1 L. So that'll be important for your spelling. So here we have awful, which is full of awe. Awe is kind of like respect. And then careful, so you're full of care. You want to be careful to spell right, to do everything right that you can. Fearful, fearful, full of fear. Tearful, full of tears, a lot of crying. Useful, full of use. The pencil here is very useful. Or may I suggest my fountain pen is extremely useful for writing. Then we have a word similar to useful is helpful, full of help. hopeful, full of hope. Mr. Potter's full of hope that this is going to help you to become a much better reader. I just know it will, and that's why I'm sitting here this morning making these videos. Number 5, we have less, less. And this suffix, Anglo-Saxon suffix, indicates without or lacking. So again, we'll take a look, and notice these are just the opposite, really, of full. Instead of helpful, which we read up above, we now have helpless. He was helpless. He needed a lot of help. Senseless. Maybe somebody's running and falls down and knocks himself senseless for a little bit. Then we have useless. And again, notice, before we had useful up here, we just simply changed the suffix, and all of a sudden, instead of useful, we have useless. Next is blameless. He didn't do it. And I'm going to make that, where am I at here? There we go. I made that L dark. Next we have, it was supposed to be, the whole suffix should be dark. And I do this to help you so that your eyes can see the difference in the root word and in the suffix. Careless. He was careless with his money and just left it lay around. Sleepless, maybe is when maybe if you drank too much coffee before you went to bed, you couldn't get to sleep, or Coke. Hopeless, and hopeless means that you don't have any hope. Formless, no form. Harmless. You want to make sure if you take a medicine that it's not one that's dangerous, but you want one that's not harmful, but harmless. And finally, worthless. Something that is worthless. Mr. Potter believes that memorizing sight words without reference to the sound value and the letters is a worthless activity. And so that's why I hope you enjoyed, if you went through my Natural Phonics Primer, a universal safety net for literacy, you were taught to read the correct way without memorizing any words without reference to their spelling. Nevertheless, all right, that's the end of this one. And now we're going to go down to the practice sentences, and I will meet you there for the next lesson.